I was all ready to make one kind of video, and then I thought I had to make a completely different kind of video. But now I'm ending up making the video I thought I was going to make in the first place. Jays lose 3-0 against the New York Yankees in the final game of a 4-game set in the Bronx. Okay, so last night somehow I turned in a 19-minute video? Yikes. And then with the hour-and-a-half rain delay at the start of this one, yeah, I thought this would be a quicker video. And it turned out there's not a whole lot to talk about in this one anyway, so that works out, I guess. I'm gonna go with general impressions of this game rather than a beat-by-beat breakdown of what happened in this game, and that's probably for the best for all of us, wouldn't you say? First, the good. Gausman looked really sharp in this one. Really good fastball command, excellent command of his split finger fastball that kind of like curls around the outside of the zone, kept the Yankees guessing all night. He only got touched up a little bit on some kind of fluky plays that also involve some defensive miscues that are relatively minor. It was like death of 1,000 cuts out there. Nothing really that Gausman needs to tighten up there. I thought he pitched really well. Those defensive miscues aside, I thought the Jays played pretty well on the run prevention side as a whole. Merriweather with the only hiccup out of the bullpen and only one run after a leadoff double. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Honestly, keeping the Yankees to 3 runs over 8 innings in the Bronx, not bad. You can never really complain about that. And the eye test bears that out too. Tim Meza, 1 batter, 1 strikeout to put out a fire. Love that. A really gritty inning of relief from David Phelps, who got himself into and then got himself out of trouble. Really like that. But if you're going to talk about the good, yeah, we got to talk about the bad. We might have a problem here. So Teo's down, Jano's down. They wanted to give Chapman the day off, and you want to get George off his feet and have him DH for a day. I said in last night's marathon video that, yeah, if you put George in the DH spot, all of a sudden you have to water down the lineup a lot. And Chapman on the bench too? Ooh, yikes. So tonight's lineup featured Biggio and Zimmer and Tapia. Oh, that's not ideal. But you know what? As easy it would be to stunt on those guys, those aren't the guys who I would say cost us this game. When you get shut out, you kind of say, all right, yeah, Luis Severino, yeah, he looked really good, so I guess that played a part of it. And it did. And the Yankees bullpen is throwing out a bunch of flamethrowers, so I guess that had something to do with it. And it did. But the story of the game for the Blue Jays offensively is no clutch hitting. And it's not just your Tapias and your Zimmers and your Biggios and your Espinals who couldn't get it done. The guys you're looking squarely at are Vladimir Guerrero, who had a golden sombrero the day after being a world-ending offensive force. But mostly I'm looking right at George Springer and Bo Bichette. Guys! Top of the second inning, Jays had the bases loaded after the bottom of the order comes through, loads the bases with 1 out for the big boys. Springer with a lazy, shallow fly ball that doesn't score the runner from third. I know the runner in question was Alejandro Kirk, but come on! And then Bo Bichette with a little ground ball and just, was never even competitive, guys. But then even more egregiously, Aroldis Chapman comes out and forgets how to throw a fastball! This guy's a generational closer and he has one of the worst single performances I've ever seen him have. He walks the bases loaded with nobody out. The bottom of the order. He had the 7, 8, 9 guys out there. He walked them to load the bases for George and Bo and Vlad. And George strikes out on a pitch that's been a strike all night. And then Bo, with the worst place you could put a ball in that situation, a little floater that either might be caught or might drop in. Either way, Chapman doesn't know what to do. Sorry, Matt Chapman was on first base. Aroldis Chapman was out of the game at this point. He's not... Too many Chapmans. Anyway, Matt Chapman doesn't know what to do in that situation. If the ball drops in, then he better have strayed halfway between first and second so we can get to second base without being picked off. But if the ball is caught, which it was, then he better have stayed at first base so he doesn't get doubled off. In this case, Chapman did the wrong thing. He strayed between first and second base and got picked off at first base, but it's a tough situation. There's really no right answer there. The right answer is either Bo or George have to get the bat on the damn ball. And they only had to have done it once in this whole game, and the whole game changes. We don't know what happens. Bo had a couple of multi-hit games to start off the season, but since then, he's been pretty cold and flailing at a lot of bad pitches that are never strikes. And George, honestly, even with tonight's futility, he had a really good series. I don't know what's going on there. One of the things you could always say about George Springer is the guy is clutch, so clutch, always has been, but not tonight. Anyway, that's my frustration about this game talking. I understand that it's a 162 game schedule and no one's going to come through every single time. That's just not how baseball works. And also over the course of 162 games, many of which are against other elite teams in your division, yeah, sometimes you're going to lose some frustrating games, and this was one of those, I guess. This just felt like one that the Blue Jays could have and probably should have won. And the game this reminded me of is the game that we lost 2-1 late in the season at home against the Tigers last year. You all probably remember the one. It was the one where we had the win in our hand and then Marcus Semien forgot how to throw a ball to first base. Like, he'd made exactly this play probably 10,000 times in his life, and somehow he completely botched it. Throws the ball away, allowing the tying run to score, and then the Tigers almost inexorably went on to win that game in extra innings, and then the Jays failed to make the playoffs by 1 game. This game kind of felt a little bit like that. Not in the sense that, the consequences will be the same, one hopes, but mostly in the fact that, this was a game that the Jays had every opportunity to win and probably should have. And the other team is handing them opportunities, is really just trying to choke this thing away, and the Blue Jays kind of out-choked them. Really just tightened up at the wrong possible time. Just got really, really tense and just pissed it away. So yeah, a pretty frustrating night. One positive I'm taking away from this is that if you had told me at the start of the series that the Blue Jays were going to get shut out twice in this 4-game series, I would have said, oh, we lose the series then. And we didn't. We split it. So, okay, that's positive. And the starting pitching is rounding into form. Manoah looks fantastic. Barrios had a decent bounce-back evening. And Gausman was really sharp tonight, and it looks like he's rounding into form quite nicely. So the starting pitching is a strength right now. But with Vlad's Jekyll and Hyde thing, where he looks like the best hitter on the planet last night, and a liability tonight, and the fact that George and Bo and Lourdes look like they're cold all at the same time, and Teo's hurt, and Jano's hurt. Ooh, this really deep, unfair lineup is looking really shallow really quickly. Alejandro Kirk got a couple hits and took a walk, so that's good. Anyway, this is another one where you kind of just flush it down the toilet. Not too many lessons to learn here other than try to hit gooder, guys. Blue Jays head home for a quick 3-game series against Oakland before going back out on the road again, so you definitely want to get at least 2 out of 3 here. Ross Stripling gets his first start of the year in Game 1 as the Blue Jays move to a 6-man rotation temporarily, just to try to soak up some innings and keep them away from the starters while they're still getting stretched out. Oakland has, no star power in their team whatsoever, but they're always feisty, so it should still be a competitive series. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about this one because I don't want to think about it anymore and I want to have a beer. Thanks so much for watching this. If you like this content, I can't imagine why you would. But if you do, like and subscribe, that'd be great. We'll see you tomorrow night. In the meantime, take it easy.